So this is going to be a smaller video than usual. A friend kept recommending Ranking of Kings to me and I decided to check out the first episode. And let's just say I was hooked. The world building is fascinating, it's subversive and there is so much to be explored. But characters are where this series shines. There are tons of characters mostly based on fleshed out fairy tale archetypes and the interactions between characters is simply a joy to observe. Although there are plenty of good characters, my favorites are definitely Despa, Desha and Oken. Their story was just
Beautiful.
I wish there was more of their story. Even side characters like Bebin and the captain from the underworld have so much to contribute. So I can't help but admire the character work done in this series. Even though my favorite characters are the brothers from Hell, Healing is definitely my next favorite. Shatterin the stereotypical evil stepmother character and being an absolute queen. Even though I absolutely love most of the characters, there are two characters that hold this series back. They are King, Boss and Miranjo. I am someone who often roots for the villains, but this time I was baffled by how much bullshit surrounded them. So first off, spoilers. So apparently Miranjo is the evil mastermind of this story and oh my god, I absolutely hated her. So Miranjo is a child that was rescued by King Boss and who grew attached to him. Then Miranjo decides to make King Boss immortal so she can be with him forever. Okay, that doesn't sound that bad, right? Well, she was going to do this by making Boss marry a woman and using the new queen's child as a receptacle for Boss's soul. Now we run into a problem. Miranjo wants to sacrifice children to come back after death. This is pretty evil, right? And what does Boss do after this is suggested? He almost goes through with this plan. He was willing to sacrifice his own child to resurrect himself. So he is a scumbag. But this does not end here. Then the absolute galaxy brain Miranjo uses a helpless little Boji as bait to kill his mother because Boss doesn't want to divorce his wife. Okay, so let me repeat that. Miranjo used a deaf baby as bait to lure in his mother so she can get rid of both of them. Do you know what Miranjo reminds me of? Now, you might say that's ridiculous. Miranjo isn't that evil. Bonrod groomed children and led them to a fate worse than death. I guess that's true. I mean, it's not like Miranjo groomed a child and almost gave him a fate worse than death, right? Right? Now I'm just getting ahead of myself. Before we get there, let's look at the other crimes of Miranjo. She let out a ridiculously dangerous group of criminals from the underworld. And by doing this, she was attempting to destroy the kingdom of Boss and bring death to countless people. So Miranjo is responsible for the actions of the Suicide Squad. And let's not forget all the assassination attempts she made towards Healing and Boji. She is such a scumbag that she even betrayed the devil. Now I can hear you saying, her face was cut off and so were her hands when she was a child. I'm going to be honest, that whole thing made no sense. After they mutilated her, they put bandages on her so she won't bleed to death. It's stupid and comically evil. But it is tragic. Afterwards, Boss kills all the villagers who hurt Miranjo out of rage. Now that is fair, but why is Miranjo trying to get revenge on a bunch of randos? Why? Because they are human? And the people who hurt her were human? If that's the case, she is extremely unwell and needs to be locked up or executed. This show tries to portray Oken as more of a twisted monster than Miranjo, even though Oken had literally lost his ability to think rationally, unlike Miranjo. Now I'm sure you are asking, okay, a villain was evil, is that your complaint? Well, actually, that is not the problem. Sure, she is an evil sicko who has no problem killing and manipulating children to further her own goals. But that doesn't hurt the story. What hurts the story is the reaction of others towards Miranjo.
私はこの者と結婚します。
I'm fucking sorry, Data. But she groomed you, made you order to kill your own brother and trapped you in a nightmare dimension. But that's not all she did. She almost destroyed the kingdom, almost made Desha, who is one of the most powerful kings, an enemy of their kingdom, and made several attempts at killing your family members. If you still love her, you have either lost your fucking mind or she has used her hypnosis on you. She has literally done that before, and Despa or Healing don't even attempt to argue against him being engaged to a monster. Everyone just acts like it's a happy ending when it's beyond messed up. We are supposed to buy that Miranjo is good because she regretted the horrible things she did. She should regret it, but she should be trapped in a place where she won't harm any more children. Miranjo, I'm sorry about your childhood, but once you use it as an excuse to do equally wretched things, you don't deserve forgiveness. And I believe Oaken is more deserving of a second chance than her. But Oaken's second chance was ripped away from him by a deal that made no sense.
首を返してほしくば我が願いを叶えよ。ミランジョ、生き返らせてくれ。
The devil should of course ask Despa to confirm whether or not that the wish Data made was the wish he wanted to make. Despa is literally the one holding his head. I mean, he has all the leverage. And Despa lets the devil go, which was one of the rare moments where Despa kind of messed up. That said, Despa is a fucking saint. He actually controlled his anger and acted rationally, because I personally would have had a reaction similar to the captain. So I'm sorry. Miranjo literally almost ruined the series for me, but this series has so much merit that just a garbage character can't just ruin the appeal of this series for me. I watched this series twice, and I mean, I grew more and more to dislike Miranjo, but the story is, for the most part, an absolutely brilliant story. That's all, folks. The Bone Root video is coming soon, so stay tuned.